Most of y'all probably met me. Most of y'all, maybe I met last night. Anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Brett. Probably 14 years or something. I've been teaching at SKBC for 6 now. What I'm going to teach today is shot creation. Okay. This is something that I teach every year with Anatole at SKBC. This will be the first time I've ever taught it without Anatole, but I think it'll go just fine, right? The idea behind this class is that everyone constantly gets drilled the rules of fighting, right? You know, with block strike, there's learning hand positioning. Your hand needs to be this high. You want to throw this shot or this shot, right? There's all these rules that you kind of like learn over time, right? Don't overextend because you're exposing this. Don't do this because this is bad, right? This class is kind of about just saying, fuck the rules, let's get creative, right? Because that's how we go forward, right? People had to learn that their hand should stay high by putting their hand high, things like that. So when we talk about a shot, what goes into a shot, we talked about a lot of it yesterday for people who weren't here, right? Things that go into a shot, like distancing, range control, right? I might throw a different shot here than I would here, right? Moving offline, whether he's aggressing or I'm aggressing, right? Stutters, fakes, level changes. All these things can go into a shot, right? And we're going to kind of talk about that, and as we're doing some stuff, we'll look at it, okay? So the way I'm going to teach this and what we're going to do is the first thing, we're going to go through some of what Anatole likes to call our 90%ers, okay? And I'll kind of demonstrate one of mine, he'll kind of demonstrate one of his. The idea between a 90% the idea of a 90% shot is that 90% of the time it works all the time, right? So it's a safe, effective shot. You're not doing anything crazy. My 90%er is not going to be like my Delos or something like that, right? That's not going to be my 90%er. My 90%er is something like this. And it works real well for me. Okay? And what we want to do is, after we kind of talk about what goes into a 90%er and understanding them, we like to try to start workshopping something, right? So I want one of y'all to tell me a shot you've been working on and come up here, and as a group, we're going to see if we can make it better, right? Is there something that you're working on that's just not working, right? We're all going to get together and talk about what we can do to change it, all the different things that could go into it, and see if we can make it better. Then after that, we're going to get crazy. Then we're going to start talking about our 10%ers, all right? Because what's fighting if you don't have your 10% shots, right? Sometimes you just got to get crazy, and that's the whole fun of fighting, right? And so all of us have our 10% shots, our crazy shots that we're like, check this out, right? So we're going to go and talk over, I'll show you one of mine, I'll make Cato show you one of his, and then after that, we'll try to workshop a couple with y'all as well, all right? You will get more out of this class the more you participate, right? It's going to be a group think tank. Throw your ideas out, just try to figure stuff out, and we're just going to screw around and have a good time and really go through the process of creating a shot, right? Awesome. So, let's go over one of my 90%ers, right? It's something that I was showing earlier. You can kind of see and break down the idea of what goes into this shot, right? Because from the outside, a lot of times people just see, right? And that's not what it is, right? So to show the subtleties that go into just a 90% shot, instead I step cross slightly, pump just to freeze, and then go over. Does that make sense? Move over here. So once again, it's not just a shot here. I'm going to go to close distance, bring his guard over just enough that I can go over, right? This is a nice shot for me because I feel like I can do it at any distance. It's not going to be that way with every shot, right? Some things need to be different, right? You see how simple and straightforward a lot shot should be. Make sense? Kind of? What's one of your 90%ers?
Muddy stock, usually. You usually start right foot forward with it. And you do like a little flourish up here. And I like to step off just a tiny bit this way. Not very far, but just a little bit, because it causes him to rotate that way. So you do a little flourish here with a step, drop at the knees, and throw a reverse wrap into the body. So it looks like that. Right?
Very simple. He stays very guarded, right? That's another big part about a shot, right? Is your defense. All right. What I want to start doing now is you've seen kind of 90%ers. They're straightforward, effective shots. Which one of you has something that you're working on that's just a straightforward, maybe like a fake to an ass wrap and you just can't get it working? Whatever it is. One of y'all who's got something. Yeah, absolutely. Come on out. Chris,
I've got it.
Toss me the glove at your feet. Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah.
So what are you working on?
I'm trying to get the sword forearm like outside wraps.
Okay, so you want to wrap and hit there.
Yes.
Okay, so how are you doing it?
Yeah. So right now I stand here with my shield put forward.
Okay.
And I typically will, sometimes I'll step forward, put my sword foot forward. Sometimes I'll step just a little bit this way. I try to rotate and hit that way, but usually I get hit in the arm.
Normally you get hit in the arm. Does anyone have any ideas to try to set this up better?
Well, I think the thing you notice about both their 90% is they open with a fake. So you're probably going to be more successful selling or getting that arm open rather than just maneuvering your body, but by faking the maneuver theirs in a way that's good for you.
I think that's a real good start. Maybe less than a fake, maybe just a pump to freeze them even, you know, but giving them something. Maybe that's our first step, right? So now instead of going like this, I'm going to go or something, right? Because you're stepping to the left with your left foot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we could add a little fake. Is there something else that maybe we could change? Like for me, do we want to step to the left or is it better stepping cross to the right, right? He was just talking about opening someone up. So maybe if we just take that same shot, we want to add a fake, we throw this way and then throw down on the outside, right?
Right.
possibly. What else could we do?
I don't know. I'm kind of a short guy.
Okay.
So my first thought is if we're gonna step this way,
Okay.
I have a lot of success sometimes catching people like underneath
Yeah.
their sword. So if he just drops a little bit and catches like this part of his forearm,
So maybe instead of trying to go down,
yeah,
coming
he's
more
like,
out a
yeah,
little bit and
yeah,
under?
oh, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, so we're talking like now instead of going like here, we're thinking more like there, because it's around the block. I'm not trying to fight down that block and down the shield anymore. I kind of dig that, right? And who knows, maybe we can do both. Maybe we can keep working him this way and then he'll never know and he'll start dropping his hand and I can go like in high up here, right? You're gonna dig that, right? So now we're looking at starting with a fake, or here or something, and then throwing in a little bit lower instead of coming all the way up and over. I like that. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Any other ideas that we could do to throw into this shot?
You could put like his full body into it because it looked like he was just stepping and throwing. He could like step, dive in and throw to get the better
So
angle.
give yourself an angle almost like a money shot to bring it up higher, but maybe we go farther outside than people are thinking, so it's not dropping into this quadrant anymore. We're changing the shot, but we're using a lot of the same thing. So now we're talking about maybe coming here, here, and throwing like that. What do you think about that? See what you got about that. So in theory,
I think I like pump and then come that way.
you want to pump and then go outside?
I think so, because I'm trying not to come in real deep. I'm trying to do this at range.
Okay.
I'm trying to make use of my reach with this shot so that I can take the shot without exposing myself a lot. So I think the feint is probably a better idea than coming in real deep.
then coming in a little deep. So maybe you just workshop that for right now. You come up and try different fakes, right? Maybe it's this, down. Maybe it's this, down. Figure out the fake, all right?
Thank you.
Why don't you head back, all right? So there's going to be a lot of workshopping. We're going to be talking about stuff, but I want you to understand that this is the process of creating a shot, right? Just in that process, we had 2 or 3 different ideas that might be their own individual shots, right? 3 different setups to hit the same location that look a little different and might be throwing them off. That kind of makes sense? Who else has got something? Yes.
All right. Not very good with low quadrants.
Okay.
But I'm really trying to get that hip wrap down here.
Okay.
But most people that fight have a real tight upper left quadrant, right quadrant. So
Right.
faking up there doesn't usually draw them up too much. So I'm having trouble. I guess I need to step more lateral. I'm having trouble getting them to use their shield for the fake to look scoop. And I got the leg too.
No.
I just don't have a very good scoop.
Okay. So the idea is what's the fake that's going to open it up, sort
yeah,
of?
because pumping top right quadrant
Doesn't work for you. Okay. So we got a real. We want to hit the hip, right? That's what we want to do. But the fake's not working. So who's got ideas to set this up better? Who could do this better? Yes.
You might be able to throw for the shoulder, like for the back. Okay.
So instead, we're faking the shield specifically up
So
to go
you can
on.
pull the shield up and then swing under.
Okay. I like that because at least you're now forcing the shield movement rather than
The
throwing
shot
across
is more
your
successful
Too far
anyways.
from
So
your shot either. You're still on the same shot.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
This is too high of a count.
What else could we do? Could we do something with maybe footwork?
So I'm running.
Movement?
What if you step left instead?
Like this way.
Yeah.
With the pump?
And then
Oh, yeah.
he comes this way.
You're trying to get him to. You're trying to get them to move their shield, but you're throwing over to their sword side, which they're blocking with their sword instead of moving their shield to block. Which is what they should be
That's what
doing.
the issue.
So even if they eat your fake, they're fine without having to move their shield.
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe in addition to that portion is maybe some people will try to block with their sword,
Yeah.
and like we discussed yesterday, some people might try to block with their shield because there's the second guy in the fight. You know what I mean? So that I think that idea might work. It's very possible, but what you would have to decide to would work is step offline and see what they do with their shield first. So I think it might not be the best idea to necessarily discard it out of hand, since a lot of people block that side with their sword. But some people might try to do it with their shield as well.
Right? So what if, I don't know, we're just going to brainstorm ideas here, right? You're saying that, like, so the problem with this, right, is that in theory that's there.
Yeah.
So what if instead you faked like this,
Okay.
because it has to draw, and then try to throw outside? Right?
The fake pocket stuff.
Yeah, so you're tightening them up and bringing them right there. Right? And that's just one of a few things we can do, right? As we're working this and trying to figure out what we do, so maybe it's all about the level change, right? Maybe it's because we're trying to stay high, and what we need to do is come in here, fake this stab, and come in, and maybe even add a little bit of shield manipulation. Right? Just a little, if I could close enough. Yeah? So I'm going like, huh. Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. If I could close enough,
forget
that
that
looks
swing.
kind of sweet, right?
Yeah.
That might work.
That's important.
Yeah. I've been playing with shield manipulation a lot recently. It's really fun. It's really fun. Any other ideas? What else could we do here? As we're trying to go down the path of figuring out how to get this ass shot, we know we want the ass.
You could try feigning twice.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Feigning
say.
twice.
Low, high, and then down.
Right?
A lot of people won't buy the first one, but they'll buy the second one. 'Cause
I
most
like
people
it.
just throw one.
I dig it. It's a shot that I throw quite a bit. Is I go, huh, and then I come up and drop, right? With a big level change both ways. Level down, up, and then drop for it, right? We're selling it with a level change in this double fake. If you work the double fake, I know you already like some double fakes. So what if you go there, away, and back to it?
Yeah.
So
I started the wrong way. That was
you did.
the shoulder.
You did. It was a little embarrassing, but I'm sure they didn't notice.
until I talked about it.
Yeah, like that a little bit.
Yeah.
But you might have to just sell. Yeah, and you look at it and you try to figure out what's wrong. Maybe the second fake needs to be shorter. So maybe we're coming down going like,
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, you kind of see what we're doing.
Noticing that, like, you have your sword foot forward and you have your shield foot forward, and it's a lot easier for you to actually reach the hip with your sword foot forward than it is for you with your shield foot forward.
Is it easier because I'm sword foot forward or because he's shield foot forward?
It's because you can step outside and he can't necessarily do that step across
That's
to get
true.
around.
And maybe you got to look at something, right? Maybe you got to look at maybe it's better for him to go sword foot forward, or maybe this isn't the shot. If I'm sword foot forward,
I think you're probably right. With
maybe
that.
he needs to find the person who's sitting here
Yeah.
to create that opening,
So much easier to hit shield foot forward people.
right?
Yeah.
And so your opponent determines your shot just as much as everything else, right? He was kind of talking earlier, and he said that stepping offline, he goes, well, I think what you need to do is step offline and see if your opponent bites it, because some are going to, and some aren't. So your opponent determines a lot of things, and just the stance. If I'm sitting like this, and you want that mad shoulder, like back shoulder shot, you're probably going to really struggle to get it because I'm so elongated. But I'm real open here, so whatever you got over here is probably your shot. So I like what you're thinking, though. It's big, it's important, right? So maybe you think this is my shot for shield foot forward fighters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Play with it.
Yeah, thank
Go.
you.
What time is it?
I have no idea.
It's
Time to learn.
Time to learn.
Okay. So since this is a shortened class compared to what it is at SKBC, I want to get into the 10%ers because they're fun, and it's where we really just stress creativity. Yes, sir.
It's 10:47.
Well, thank you.
After he looked at it.
Yeah, I already got it.
No, after I looked at her phone.
Well, I mean, after he had already.
I pulled that one.
Oh, okay. I was looking at her.
I
I'm
appreciate it.
step
Thank you
behind.
thank you for being on the spot for me. All right.
gonna cut that out of the video. We'll edit it in post.
So this is where we like to get crazy. Just because it's a 10%er doesn't mean it doesn't work, right? I got a couple shots. I'm gonna try to not mess up my main shot. And I wouldn't call this a 10%er. I'd call it a 100%er the first time I do it, and then they'll never get confused again. Okay? We're gonna try this. I mess up every now and then. It's a tricky shot.
Sleeves are up.
No, fuck that. You leave him open.
So this works real good against like warlords who don't know you're gonna do it. I'm not kidding. I killed multiple instructors doing this one.
Should we turn the camera off just in case?
So basically, I like to maybe this is the last fight we've been sparring. This is the last fight, and I kind of tap in. I'm like, all right, last one. I go like, you know what? I don't fucking need this sword to beat you. Damn it! Hold on. I got this. All right, so I walk and I go like, I don't even need this to beat you. It works like a charm. You never see it coming. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? And then you stab them in kind of the Jimmy area. And they're upset, and it's amazing. Right? Now, is it a ridiculous shot? Yeah. But that's almost the fake.
So I have a question.
Yes.
How long did you have to practice the throwing, catching from behind? How long did that for a little?
Next question. It's possible that I walked around for long periods of time just being like, there we go.
Also 100% ratio catches too.
I drop it like 20% of the time, but that 20% of the time, then I just act like I was planning on punching them the whole time. Because I already started with, I don't even need this to beat you, so I missed the catch. I'm like, and I'm showing you.
So you can see how plants kind of have branched trees depending on what happens. If he catches it, stats him. If he doesn't, he's got a backup plan.
The universe series.
Exactly, right? And it's ridiculous, right? And the second time someone sees me do it, they go like, no. Swing at me. But it's a legitimate fake. It legitimately works almost 100% of the time the first time I throw it on something, right? It's ridiculous and it's fun, right? That's what fighting's all about. In so many ways, right? All right. Show me one of your crazy ones.
Yo, Tatum, can you show him your cartwheel? Cartwheel? Yeah. Oh, no, I hurt my back doing a cartwheel last night getting on it. Yes. There was a time when I cartwheeled the thick of his neck and hit him while I was upside down. But
Oh, that's right. Fuck me.
I need to stretch one up first. I have one that I think I might be able to do, but my foot works a little bit shorter. I call it shotgun ice. So it's kind of in the same vein, it's a little bit similar. Like I like to do this kind of hang toss where I spin my sword around. So toss it, catch it, and reverse wrap him in the hip. And a lot of people are like, what's he doing? It's floating in the air. And he catches it, oh my God, that's beautiful. And then it hits in the body, and you're like, oh, that's my body.
There's a lot of great things that you can do by just throwing your sword randomly.
Apparently.
I used to be a big fan of this one when I was younger. I just feel like you know, it's silly, but I'm gonna choke on my hair a little bit.
Not a problem.
I feel you, buddy.
A little bit of that.
That's my key.
All right.
It's one of the reasons why.
But yeah, no, it's fun. So, the $100 question: which one of you has been working on something crazy, and you want to get this working? Don't lie to me. Did you ruin all of their creativity with stupid drills?
Now
You
we're
did.
just going
You're done with enterprise. All of you are done with enterprise right now.
Freedom!
We've been conformed.
Yes.
I get your car.
Bring it on. I love it.
I need gear.
Well,
What do you need, brother?
what do you need? Okay. Okay. So what are you going to try to do?
He's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right. I like where we started.
Swing happened.
Because we started with a dive, and that's sweet. So
Dark Souls.
how do we make this one better, right? I think part of our problem is you only rake me, and then you will flop around with your free on, right? What do you got? What do you got? It looks like you're working something strange.
You can almost always toss your sword. That's my takeaway. Maybe you can change your dive into like a hip scoop when you throw it, and maybe they'll go, "Oh my God, is he okay? Is this some sort of seizure?" And just right in the ass. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Possibly. I'm thinking something. What do you got?
I was thinking maybe he like tries to like get on his tiptoes right before the roll, tries to like fake a shot up, and then just dive underneath.
I like it. Just trust fall.
Trust.
Pretty awesome, but I mean,
Tell me something.
What if you roll on your left shoulder, like, I can't do my shoulder. Like,
Go for the other side.
what if you roll this way
Where you at now?
and hit him as you're going?
Oh, like
Oh, so you're going for
The
sword
money
side
shot.
scoop? Is that what you're saying?
the money shot though.
Okay.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, I like
That
the
looked
idea.
like it was almost better.
It was close. It was
Yeah.
close. Hold on. I'm gonna have to get rid of everything in the bucket.
I think he needs to keep practicing it.
He needs to start tumbling right.
Tumble right, hyena, like you're in Dark Souls.
I think you need to start the tumble from further back.
Tumble if you get back. I'm thinking if we're gonna flop around on the ground, we might as well double it, right?
Yeah,
While we're
yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, what if you just
Just
kinda
don't
do
tell
it there and go
Delos.
Hold on, I want to try this.
It's like a drunken boxing thing.
Yeah.
It really hurt. You know, maybe you take it knee first. You never see it coming. Just see it come, and you're like, yeah. There you go. So I'm working from like right here now, and you're like, what is it? And I'm like, whoop. Yeah.
I think that might work.
I think it will. I think I'm gonna land it on you. Just saying.
No,
I'm tall
he needs
enough.
to have constantly freak
All right, I like it. Step back. Someone else has got something. I know they do.
Ethan, press A.
Jump shot.
All right,
Yeah,
so
we'll
at
try
GG,
You know, like practice like
hold on, don't throw us all.
Let's see it first.
We're trying to get like behind the back, but even though we're But the problem is when we jump, we lift our boards a bunch. It's totally exposed.
How are we gonna make this cool, guys?
You have to get really low.
Yeah, you should.
You like
Power
rocket ship.
Do you have like a little box with sound effects? That,
should duck next to their sword side hip and then jump over.
Keep in mind that these are still called 10%ers. That means it's 10% of the time. They're still supposed to work all the time. Okay? You gotta keep it within the realm of possibility.
The other way? Okay.
So,
I got.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
What if you duck by sword side hip? Fake money and just duck all the way down and then jump up.
Yeah, like I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah, if you read Hajime no Ippo, Aoki has a frog punch where he
Come all
goes
the way
down
to the ground.
like this before he hops up. So you fake money real low, and then you use the springs of your legs to frog jump up the shoulder.
I'd be so mad if somebody hit me with that.
Always with the loop. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
just given my heights, this just might be something I
So kind of like feigning the leg.
Oh, feigning the leg. So you throw that in after you throw the dive. I think screaming is essential.
If you're gonna jump, you might as well yell.
You have to yell something so they kind of stunned. Like, what is he doing?
He just spit all over me.
I think we did everything we needed to do.
I'm sold now.
I think that one's gonna work
That might be
every
90
time, 1 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
All right. Give me one more. Someone. One more.
Yes!
All right. I hope it's crazy. Don't you give me a He said
This format
Okay.
can't be.
This only really works a single short because I'm a lefty, so what I'll do is I'll swing and then switch. I love the switch. I love switching. Okay. Everyone knows I fight lefty, so.
Deanna, you have two options.
I think we start.
Hold on. What if you? What if you? Like, right? And you like stabbed him instead.
That's called the nave.
That's
the nave. That's the nave.
So that's already a thing.
Yeah, Finney worked since he was like 8 years old to make that possible.
I was kind of thinking like we're talking about throwing the mic for you.
Okay.
Yeah, what if you just like, hey, what's this?
So actually,
I don't know if it works. We're getting somewhere.
Shotgun ice.
Oh, it's the rainbow because you start on one side, you throw over your head like that, and then catch.
And then once they Keldar, and then once they know you do that, you gotta start going back and forth like, oh, which one am I gonna do? I don't know.
want to throw anything, right? You're just worried about liking to throw it, you're never going to get it back. So what if you're fighting points? I just like to chuck
That's it. That's the key.
Or you can just drop it.
That's how you play.
Just throw it by their head.
I kind of dig it. Anyone else got something? Someone's got to have something real crazy to work out.
I kind of want to stab someone in the hip.
Okay.
It's not very easy to do. So I was thinking,
Spin the other way.
Reverse your grip. Reverse your grip. Stab this way.
Grip.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's it right there.
I think that if we're going to do it that way, we need to get everything else into, right? So why are we spinning after the stab? First of all, we should spin and then stab.
You can spin,
The way
stab, and then
style on a
spin.
shield, right? So maybe we like throw here, or we pull like this little move just to look cool. You go like, and then you like kind of come up so they tighten. And then you know what I'm saying?
You can almost use shield manipulation as you go through. Yeah, to catch
like,
the inside of his
make
whip.
it so that they tighten up a little bit. Then pump and stab.
Somebody's getting this.
That's happening.
Also, something I like to teach is when you are doing your 10%ers, one of the most important parts of it is the walk away. Okay?
The lazy boy.
So when we hit a 10%er, I don't care what Tato says, you don't shake hands and say good fight. You drop like, poof, 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 and you just go like.
And they're like, it's an Iron Man, you won.
Yeah, well, we're fighting over here now.
Smooth dive.
No, if they land the 10, that's just the end of the round. You move on to the next person. That's it.
All right, guys, I'm pretty much out of time. I think I was already out of time, but this is a real fun class. But the thing that I want to stress is creativity, really. It's just fucking be creative. You can only get so far with things like block strike. The basics are unbelievably important, but at some point, you have to like take your own path, right? You can't be a cookie cutter image of what should happen, right? You need to drill your basics always. I still drill my basics. I still do stuff like intervals, right? It's so important. But then when I step away, sometimes it's just time to get creative. Try stupid shit. See how ridiculous you're able to hit someone, because it's an important part of learning, right? Tato went and spent time with the wheels, right? I don't know how many of y'all have gotten to fight a large number of the wheels. They're phenomenal. Phenomenal fighters. They're not at all like the Rhodes fight, like the Torches fight. They have very much their own styles. It's completely built on creation. One of the things that they would do, right, as you were talking about, is they would see and they would just keep trying to land something ridiculous, right? I remember for a while they were working on this stab into like a squirrel stab, trying to kill people with it, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was stab and then trying to come over and stab. I don't really remember, but they spent so much time like, no, I know I can get this to work. I gotta set them up just like this. And you learn so much trying to create and trying to learn setups for something ridiculous. And suddenly silly things like I'm gonna do a double twisting stab, you go like, I think I can set it up, but I gotta make sure he's stepping forward and dropping his hand because it's the only way it'll hit. And then suddenly out of nowhere, you just realize that you can set up shots specifically off of this guy stepping forward and dropping his hand, right? Silly little learning things that you sometimes never realize until you go completely outside of your comfort zone and says, fuck it, I'm just gonna try to look sweet right now, right?
I was up until
So creativity, guys, so effing important.
Where was
right?
up here? I came up here a couple
That's my
times,
class,
but
but that's
where
what I want y'all to
mostly
go
at.
and just have fun creating, doing new stuff, looking stupid, and then looking awesome.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.